You are your business's number one asset. You are the producer, the packager, the marketer, the designer, the seller, and the face of your business. And you know what that means? It doesn't survive without you. If you get worn out, if you get out of ideas, if you get burnt to a tiny little crisp because you've overworked yourself, your business won't survive. So some of you use this, what I just said, as a reason that you cannot possibly take time off because you are the center. You need to make it happen. You are the person with the ideas. But I am telling you that this is exactly why you need to take time off. You need to rest. Welcome to Explore Your Enthusiasm, episode 185 with me, Tara Swiger. Today we're going to get right into it. You need to rest. We're going to talk about why, and we're going to talk about a little bit about how. So you are a human being with a human body and you need to rest. And the good news is you need that, and it's also really good for your business. So you are the heart and soul of your business. Even if you hire people, you need to be the one that comes up with ideas, that generates marketing plans, that writes Instagram posts and emails and product descriptions. You are the person who's making it happen. You need to be the one that has conversations with new retailers, with customers at a craft show, with possible partners for your business, like joint marketing partners. And in order to do that, in order to have the energy to make all of those things happen, you need to feel good. You need to feel good. That's an important part of running a creative, handmade business, is that you need to feel good. So that's why on the podcast, I talk about emotions. That's why we talk about rejection. That's why we talk about anxiety and depression. That's why we talk about goal setting, profitability, confidence. All of these things are related to you feeling good enough to continue to do your business. And guys, I've been doing this since 2010. So for 7 years, I have seen a lot of businesses crash and burn, not because they didn't have a great product, not because they didn't know how to talk about their work, not because they didn't have customers, but because they burnt out, because they quit too soon, because they got exhausted. Or they hit the highs, they hit their goals, they got where they wanted to go, and they got exhausted and they quit. And that is fine. By the way, if you're listening and that's you, and you decided that was the best choice for you, that is totally and perfectly the right decision for you. But if you don't want to do that, if you want to have longevity, if you want to be able to say, hey, I've been doing this for 7 years, then you need to be able to stick with it for 7 years. And in order to be able to do that, you need to feel good. If you don't feel good, you can't operate and create a thriving business for very long at all. And I hear you. You're saying, but I have so much to do. I cannot possibly rest. And I totally feel you. And here's the thing. There are seasons for everything. So when I say you have permission to rest, it might not be applicable to what you're going through this exact minute. There are seasons for everything. There are seasons when your business is crazy busy. There are seasons when your children are small and need you every second for their very survival. There are seasons when you're pushing towards a big goal and you're stretching yourself and you're doing all you can. But it has to be a season. The thing about a season is that another season comes along and replaces it. If you are going to continue on being the best, most awesome biz creator you can be and create this thriving, wonderful, long-lasting career, you have got to have a season where you're not crazy busy, where you're not pushing as hard as you possibly can. And maybe the holiday season right now, what we're entering into, is the pushing busy season for you and your business. That's totally okay. I'm not telling you you have to take a rest this weekend. What I'm saying is you are in charge of what your crazy seasons are. Don't tell me that it's just the busy season. You have decided to go all in on this and you have decided to make it crazy. Or you've decided not to go all in and complain about how your holiday seasons aren't high. But you are in charge of what's happening right now in your business, and you are the only one who's ever going to decide that it's time to rest. Your business won't tell you that. Your business won't send you an email, dear owner, you've worked really hard, take a break. Your customers aren't going to tell you that. If you have employees, it's not their job to tell you that it's time to take a break. You are the boss. Now, people always say this excitedly, oh, I'm the boss. But what that means is you're the only one deciding that it's time to take a break. You're the only one deciding that it's time to get busy. And this means that you have to be the boss of making stuff happen. You also have to be the boss of rest and recovery. You have to be the boss of rejuvenating and refilling your well. So today, I want to give you a big old permission slip to do that. You can come back and listen to this whenever your season of rest is going to be, but you have to decide when that season will be. So not only are you allowed to take time off, but you need to take time off. You cannot burn yourself out because your business won't survive. You cannot push until you're sick and you can't get out of bed because your business won't survive. You have permission to take time off, not just if something comes up and interrupts you and you have to take time off, like you got the flu and I'm giving you permission to lay in bed. I'm also giving you permission just to decide that it's time to rest, because it's going to be good for you and it's going to be good for your business. Whenever I take a true weekend and don't work and don't open my emails and don't respond to comments, I come back on Monday and I have so much energy. In fact, I figured this out years ago when I was doing my handmade yarn business. And so what I started doing was making Wednesday a Saturday so that I would get 2 Mondays, because Mondays were so freaking productive that I decided that it would be better for me to have 2 Mondays than to have a lazy Wednesday. Well, now I do the 2 weekly Starship chats on Wednesday, so it's not my Saturday anymore, but I do build in short days. I build in times off. Sometimes I have to take a 3-day weekend, not just because I'm very lazy, although I am, but because I know my business is actually going to be better when I come back. Now, if you were thinking, OMG, I could never, ever take a break of like 2-3 days a week, I just could not do that. So Stacy Trock and I wrote a book specifically about this. It's a little guidebook with worksheets to help you apply it to your own business. It's specifically about how to take time off in your business without killing your business. And you can find it at taraswiger.com/leave. That's where you can find that guidebook. So if you want to be reminded of this message that you have permission, you can listen to episode 33, which is called Permission to Take Time Off. I wrote and recorded that 3 years ago and I haven't re-listened to it, so I'm curious to know if I say any of the same stuff that I did 3 years ago. And if you need permission to do whatever the hard thing is in your business, like maybe you need permission to be more of yourself, or you need permission to get rid of a product you don't want to get rid of, listen to an episode I recorded a year ago back in October of 2016. It's episode 130, and I think it's just called Permission, or You Have Permission. So you can find those if you're listening to this in iTunes. You can scroll back and find them. You can also find them at taraswiger.com/podcast33, taraswiger.com/podcast130. So as I got ready to record this episode, I asked Instagram if what I should talk about. I gave them 2 options and they voted on talking about how to take time off for the holidays. But they also asked when I was going to take time off. So I'm going to tell you that because you guys might want to know that I'm actually practicing what I preach. So first of all, the Starship, which is my online community for makers and designers, and it has access to every class I've ever created, and it has weekly accountability chats. It opens on December 4th. So if you're listening to this when it comes out, it opens next Monday, and it closes as soon as it sells out. So if you want to be notified of when it opens so that you don't miss it, you need to go to taraswiger.com/starshipbiz and sign up to be notified when it opens. I've decided that this is the only time it's going to be open for the next year. As far as my plans can tell, this will be the last time it opens until December of next year. So if you want to work on your business with a community of fellow makers and me in 2018, this is going to be the only time to join us. Partly, I'm doing that to build in more rest, because opening every quarter, which is what I've done in the past, hasn't built in a lot of rest into, like, there wasn't a cycle of rest in there. So I'm not going to take a break until after that closes, because I want to make sure that everybody who wants in gets a chance to join. But then after December 15th, I'm going to be taking a break until January 1st. So the Starship opens on the 4th through, until it sells out, or until December 15th. And then I'm taking a break from January 15th through December 15th through January 1st. So I love my work and I love all of you, and I love talking to you about how to feel good in the business you have and how to be your own business expert. So I'm sure I'll still be on Instagram, and I will probably keep chatting with you all and following you all and seeing what's up. But the podcast will take a 2-week break. But until then, we still have 2 more episodes, so stay tuned and let me know when you are taking your break. Tell me when you're taking your break. Share it on Instagram with the hashtag #ExploreYourEnthusiasm. All together, hashtag #ExploreYourEnthusiasm. Tell me when you're taking your break and I will cheer you on. I'm wishing you a very peaceful, very enthusiastic day.